Once upon a dream. This evening, so far, has truly been nothing short of enchanting. Everyone has never looked this dreamlike. My fellow Jamians, our dear personnel, teachers, and administrators, and especially my dearest batchmates from grade 12 St. Dominic Guzman. I am honored to address all of you. Let me take a piece of this night to go somewhere beyond its memorability, to use it as the starting point of a vision for the future. You're probably expecting to hear a tale about a grand reunion in the middle of nowhere, but according to the heraldic powers I've been allowed for tonight, things like that do not happen organically. So have this instead. This will be quite a long one, so sit back and relax. Coming down from 30,000 feet in the air, I was awoken by a sudden warmth, the familiar grace of humid air, and a noticeable change in the yellow tint radiating from the sun. It has been a while since I was last home. I told my parents I had to stop by a friend's place firsthand, seizing the once-in-a-blue opportunity to gather before our schedules misalign again. I stretched my neck and my arms out long, quickly retreating them at the sudden touch of what I recognized to be the fabric of a uniform. I'd hit one of the flight attendants who were doing a final walkthrough before landing. She turned her head, and the face I knew greeted me with a smile. It's Darlene Lopez. We exchanged a look, and I wondered a small story as she continued on her way home. What a pleasant surprise. I've learned by now that airports are their own kind of place. Whether it's day or night, time doesn't really pass as it normally does. With so many lives going on, intersecting, it all melts into an otherworldly dimension. But one thing is undeniable. The heat meant that I was back to the Philippines. The airplane landed smoothly. I checked my carry-on and followed the dispersing crowd into the terminal building of the New Manila International Airport. I heard from a friend a while back that Maureen Garcia also works here as a flight attendant, but there's no sight of her right now. Here's something else. Just as I was stepping forward, a golden, hairy creature crossed in front of my shins, almost making me stumble. I hear frantic cooing from somewhere behind me. Ah, it's a pet mongoose. I caught the end of its leash before it could run further and waited for its owners to catch up. Sigh! I turned my head on impulse, and a woman rushed into me. A man behind her crouched to his knees, gasping for air. It's Ayana Magdalunan and CJ Maclana, businesswoman and technology specialist, fresh from one of their vacations, I assume. Forgoing greetings, I replied, "Oh, saan kayo galing?" After our exchange, I decided to pick up some snacks. I entered the duty-free store and looked at the bakery, spotting a new local brand named Ten Tens Bakery. It's Remy Garcia's. I picked up a variety and headed out after paying. I booked a taxi from Shiro, a Filipino-Japanese-owned app similar to Grab from the early 2020s, invented by software startup Jiro Fukumoto and Shan Santos per app. I have to admit, I never thought they would work, but I suppose the tech world has come to show their hands. Speaking of technology, Bulacan has transformed into a full-fledged metropolis. With the expansion of North Window City, businesses of all shapes and sizes line its busy roads. The skyline rose and rose over the last 10 years, but the traffic hasn't had any development. I asked the driver to change the station, getting bored by the music, and the cool, rich, raspy voice mid-song filled the car. I looked upwards, trying to remember its owner. Oh, I know this one. I saw it on my Spotify release radio. It's from Mario Escalado's new album, 4 Languages. Aside from business, many services have also become accessible. We passed by one of the major hospitals, and if my Instagram stories serve me right, Maxine Molina is the head of nursing there. Miguel Dizon, Denise Solomon, and Christopher Araya are all associates. I smile, recalling their LPN posts from a couple of years back. Meanwhile, George Cruz and Elaine Madrigal are still doing their residency. Ha, I thought I was sad. Med school must be exhausting. I hear my stomach rumble. The hunger from the almost 23-hour flight is catching up to me faster than jet lag. I asked to be dropped off at a nearby gas station, where a very attractive restaurant caught my eye. As I was taking a bite of the seafood linguine, a tap came down on my shoulder. I whipped my head around, and it was Ralph Banda. Seeing his uniform, a different color from the waiters and waitresses, sharing only the logo, I assumed that he probably owns the place. My discount pa ako, I joke, and his signature sheepish laugh comes through. We talk, and I find out that the merchandise store next door is owned by Julian Gad. I saw an advertisement on its glass doors for Arcade's 10-year anniversary spin-off movie on my way in. I heard Kim Garcia was part of its animation team. She really made it to Cortiche. How amazing. I also learned that the complex we were sitting on was one of Monarch's properties. King Fernando and Vince Mira's conglomerate. Unsurprisingly, these are always had the air of landlords. But I have to admit, the scale is pretty impressive. Speaking of, the man himself walks in, with Vince in tow. I thought your flight was delayed, he said, and I shrugged. Papunta na rin sila dito. The other followed. There was a lot of catching up to do, but it can wait until later. As we sat and waited, the talk going idle, I opened up my phone and scrolled mindlessly through Facebook, coming across all sorts of things as always. There's Ray Belen's meme updates on his residency in the US, Giselle Sorio promoting his own hole-in-the-wall restaurant in Australia, serving Filipino dishes with an Aussie spin. Eliza Flores, who's working as a psychologist in Switzerland, just posted a photo with her visiting boyfriend. Still Irvin Salito. Good at that, I think. Kristan Avila and Micah Moreto also posted an update on their pet shelter program. And I heard they were opening up a veterinary clinic in the city soon, which I'm looking forward to because it'll be more convenient for my parents and order. Jacob Vergara also posted a photo of him in front of a brand new car release, a vintage Toyota Supra parked in front of the PLDT office managed by Luis Marcelino. It looks a lot like the one the latter had in high school. Another update from Giselle Vistani, another ribbon cutting ceremony. Adrian Constantino stands beside her. I guess he's really rising up the ranks. I scrolled a bit more, and there was a picture of a man with a hard hat on, a building under construction in the background, and a familiar Reliance statue almost out of sight. I guess Enzo de los Santos is doing well. I see a couple more posts from Lea Santiago, Paul Gomez, Lian Machina, and Cedric Patinao, all living their best lives. A little further down, and I see a gruesome heavy metal tattoo, fresh on the forearm, holding on a rock, and an